So our heroes are on the run from Moro, basically trying to regroup and come up with a plan to try to defeat him. Goku's going to the Galactic Patrol headquarters, and Vegeta's going to Yardrat. And there's a revelation later on that I'll get to and talk about in a second. But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel as I cover the manga every single month, as well as a plethora of other fun videos. Make sure to check them out. But back on Namek, of course, Moro and his crew are still hanging out, sucking up the energy on Namek. It's not enough to annihilate their whole species. We gotta suck all of Namek, you know. Thank God for the Dragon Balls. I really hope that these Namekians get their due in this life. Come on, man. I thought their tragedies were over, but I guess not. They have to lose their entire planet on top of all of their lives. And then, you know, Moro shows off a lot of his overconfidence here. Again, he's like, okay, well, you know, Goku and Vegeta, they're super strong, but I'll just let them roam free like livestock. That's such a cool line. Like, the dialogue in this chapter is pretty good. I enjoyed it for the most part. But Moro is just, he's so overconfident, and he has a right to be overconfident because of his powers, and now he's even stronger from Namek. I mean, look at his snout. His snout has gotten a lot shorter. The shorter his snout gets, the more powerful he becomes. But he's basically just saying, I'm gonna let them roam free. They can do whatever they want. And does he not realize that these guys can just get stronger and stronger? And does he not realize that he knows magic? Maybe there's somewhere else out there that has some interesting tricks or something that he is not accounting for. Like, it's just like before when he just left Goku and Vegeta alive, just laying there dying. But he sets loose his army from the really cool ship, admittedly. That's a pretty cool ship, guys. But we go finally to the Galactic Patrol headquarters, and the freaking Galactic King is showering. He's got these little soap suds all over him. And he's still naked, and he's like this freaking like cartoon woman who realizes she's naked and covers up. But then he gets the crown on his head, and he's just fine. This is like literal Looney Tunes level right here. And then Jocko apparently is pulling an old Donald Duck on us. Oh my god. But there's an interesting line here. It says, the Galactic Patrol must have gotten their intel wires crossed, which makes me think, again, that maybe there's an internal dude from the Galactic Patrol that's like either leaking information, making things messed up on their end, so that Moro has an advantage in that department. And, Maris, I'm still holding on hope for Maris being a bad guy, but it seems very unlikely. So Boo has gone back to normal, and since in Dragon Ball Super we don't like it when Boo is awake, so he needs to be napping, gosh dang it. But a line that I really liked in here is from Eska asking about where Vegeta is. I mean, this kid has already gotten some sort of attachment to Vegeta because of how Vegeta saved him. He's kind of, I feel like just this one line like gives you so much into Eska's mentality here. He's the last of his species. Vegeta saved him, he did some badass stuff, and he's looking up to Vegeta, and now he's wondering where he is. I think that's really cool, and I think in the future we could have a really cool relationship between Vegeta and this little Namekian kid. So, speaking of Vegeta, we go to Vegeta, and the big revelation here, and a lot of people called it. I thought that he would get instant transmission despite the, you know, dialogue going on there, but he reveals that the Yardrats do have a bunch of interesting techniques and stuff like that, so it seems that he is not actually going there specifically for instant transmission. He might still learn it, but I feel like that's after this exchange, that's not what he's actually going there for. He's trying to see exactly what he might be able to learn to help them specifically against Moro. Because in the last chapter, he's like, forget instant transmission, and yet I've been reduced to this. Vegeta's kind of like putting his pride aside and trying to learn a trick from the Yardrats. And will they just, you know, teach him willy-nilly? Or is he just gonna show up and like, hey, teach me something? And I mean, they could say no, but obviously he can force them, I guess. But I mean, how are we even gonna see it? Like, we see him arrive there, but are we even gonna see him training? I'm thinking not, but I really hope that we are, man. So Interestingly enough, he has this really stupid line in it. He's like, I'm gonna get victory over those Moro convicts and Moro and Kakarot. Why are you bringing Kakarot into this, man? Every time I think you're over this stupid, like, pride thing with Goku, you just bring it up again. He brings it up so much in Super. I thought you were over that kind of bitterness, you know? I mean, I really hope he progresses from this at some point. It's so old and so freaking worn out, you know? They do it so much. Furthermore, Vegeta should well be much stronger than Goku at this point, and I'm actually making a video about this. So this slide makes 0 sense, and it actually is the worst line in the entire chapter for me. What do you guys think about that? Do you have any other interpretation? Obviously, this is just my, initial thoughts and interpretation on it, so you could all have your own thoughts on it. So interestingly, we go Planet Zune, where Pui Pui is from. Remember Pui Pui from the Buu arc when freaking Vegeta annihilated him? He's like, my planet has 10 times gravity. And then Vegeta's like, boom, gut punch. Oh man, that was good stuff. So the Galactic Patrol, the Galactic Convicts are trying to get their treasure. And it's just this comically huge treasure chest with chains on it. It's like, is this Zelda? Man. So I thought that was really cool. They're actually in this planet with all these probably really strong dudes, which reminds me, didn't Supreme Kai go out in search of strong dudes for the Tournament of Power? Did he not consider this planet, or were the Z fighters the strongest, even stronger than these guys, including Roshi? I would think that at least some of these guys would be stronger than Roshi. But of course, if we're talking about the anime, Roshi is base Goku level. Oh man, I always get a crack talking about how dumb that is. So this kind of reminded me of the Prisoners. They're like Galactus's herald. Like Galactus in the Marvel Comics, he goes from planet to planet, eating the planets. Obviously, you've probably heard this connection before between Moro and Galactus. But what Galactus has is heralds like the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer's job is to go to a planet and say, hey, this is a good planet for Galactus to eat. So very interesting connection, and also made me think, oh my god, are they going to end up at planet Vampa? Are they going to run into Broly and Chilai and Lemo? So, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in this chapter, and it's not all just plot and action. I mean, it's plot. It's progressing the plot. We're getting away from Namek. I'm so excited about this, and we're actually seeing interesting different parts of the universe, like that new forest planet, which I thought was really cool looking, and I hope to see more of this. So, I mean, it's just like I thought in my predictions video. We're pretty much kind of catching our breath from the Moro fight, and we're kind of splitting ways. Vegeta is going to Yardrat. We're getting a little bit more information about that. Goku and the Galactic Patrol are regrouping, trying to figure out what they might be able to do, and then we're seeing the Galactic Convicts and Moro wreaking havoc in the universe, and I'm freaking loving it. This chapter is awesome. Even though it's not super action-packed, there's a lot of progression going on here, and it's extremely refreshing. And speaking of action, we actually have our action scene of the chapter of Goku testing Maris, because he can tell that Maris isn't going all out. And speaking of, I really like the dialogue for the most part in this, especially Jocko's. It's just freaking hilarious, man. Of him trying to convince Goku not to fight or attack Maris. So they move to this chamber, and Goku ends up going to Super Saiyan 3 and even to Super Saiyan God. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of think this is kind of dumb. I mean, it's a thing that Super does. Goku and Vegeta, they have gotten this God training. This is divine. This is the top tier training that you could receive. You got God Ki, you got Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and Vegeta has mastered Super Saiyan. So it's man, what did Maris do to gain so much power? Do not say, please, do not say that he was born as a prodigy. Man, everybody's a freaking prodigy in this freaking show, and now we have Maris, who is pushing Goku to at least Super Saiyan God. Now, granted, we don't know if Maris can beat Super Saiyan God, and we've seen how skilled he is before. I mean, he's a super skilled guy. He's really cool. I like Maris a lot, just for his skill. He doesn't have a lot of personality, but I kind of wish that Goku was just pushed to like Super Saiyan 3 maximum, and then the chamber started breaking apart. Because then we can see that, hey, you know, all of these guys' hard work, it's still paid off. Like, there's not guys who can really match up to that without any kind of tricks, but we don't know how Maris got this way. I'm still holding on to Maris having some secret. There's some secret to make him so strong. Moro gave him a lot of power. So anyway, this is another big revelation in the chapter. Goku says, hey, you know, you have some, you know, unique skill. You might not be stronger than me, but you might be able to train me in trying to master Ultra Instinct. This popped my head open, man. I'm like, yes, like, we've seen how Maris moves, and that is major props to Toryotaro and the paneling and how the art portrays Maris's movements and everything like that. And I think that Maris is a good candidate to try to bring that out, at least in the immediate vicinity. I can think of a number of other candidates that would be good, and they are characters that we know and love, like Piccolo, Gohan. Like, why can't these guys come in and help Goku try to obtain Master Ultra Instinct? I guess they're just not skilled enough. However, as we've seen in the Tournament of Power, Roshi is halfway to Ultra Instinct already, so why doesn't he just train Goku again? Oh, man. So at the end of the chapter, we get to the Macaroni siblings, and they look like they have gone to the train heist planet that was at the beginning of this arc to steal more of the blue Aurum, which I made the connection to Solo, a Star Wars story, with that little blue fuel stuff that's super explosive. So they learn, that there is blue Aurum on Earth. And that is probably the stuff that Bulma used or was looking for to build her time machine, and had to go to the center of the Earth. And, you know, Goku had to wear a freaking lava suit to do that. Funny stuff, and very interesting that there is a connection being made there. And this is also leaving the door open for the other characters to get involved. Although, what are the Macaroni siblings going to do against anyone on Earth? Anyone. I mean, freaking Piccolo's going to go over there and just flick them out of existence. However, maybe that will supply their ship so that the Z-Fighters can go out and try to stop the galactic convicts. I really, really, really hope that happens. So anyway, what do you guys think is going to happen next? What did you think of the chapter? I loved it. I thought it was a very, very refreshing compared to what we've seen before. A nice little change of pace, nice way to regroup. And I think these kind of chapters are essential for long-form storytelling. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and take it easy.